All right, welcome back to the second half of 2.2. We're going to jump right into Venn diagrams here. Here's a Venn diagram of dance school and the three different classes that they offer. And then the overlapping parts are students that are in possibly or in both or in two different classes or in both classes or in all three classes. So we'll talk about that as we kind of go through here. So how many students are enrolled in all three classes? Well, here we're looking at where all three circles overlap each other, so here it would just be 9. How many students are enrolled in tap or ballet? So now tap or ballet, you want everyone in one circle and everyone in the other circle, but no overlapping ones. So tap and ballet, we can kind of forget about the jazz, the people that are just in jazz, but as we kind of go around this circle, we want these 28 people, we want these 13 people, because those 13 people take tap also, these 9 that take ballet and tap, obviously these 17 that take ballet and tap, 25 people take ballet and jazz, but they take ballet, so we want to count them. And we want to count the 29 that just take ballet, since we're talking about or. So it could be any of those that take tap or ballet. I think I show here just all those numbers added together. Maybe. There we go. And so we get 121. How many students are enrolled into jazz and ballet but not tap? So jazz and ballet but not tap. So here where we're looking for the jazz and ballet, we want to look at where they overlap each other. So it's really those two numbers, 25 plus the 9. But now you add the not tap, where we want to subtract that 9 because we don't want people that are taking tap. So we just want to know how many people are in jazz and ballet, but not tap. It would be the 25. And I think we have it written out as 25 plus 9, and then we want to minus that 9 to show that that's it, but not tap part. So here's a Venn diagram of a school, Manhattan School District, talking about the pets that a household has of the students, and how many students have each type or all three of them. They could have more than one dog or more than one cat, but we just want to know if they have a dog or a cat or a bird at home. So go ahead and hit pause anytime through this. Try to walk yourself through it. How many students in Manhattan School have exactly one of the three types of pet? Well, now we only want one of the three types. So therefore, we just want the people that just have dogs. We just want the people that just have cats. And we want the people just birds. So therefore, we're going to add those three together. And what do we got? 195 plus 37, or 31, excuse me, 226. So 226 students have at least one type of, or only have one type of pet. How many students have dogs or cats? Again, hit pause anytime. You can figure this out on your own too, or try to. And then you can see if we're right, or if we match. So here are dogs or cats. Dogs or cats. So we want everyone that's inside the circle of dogs here. So we want this 85, we want the 47, we want the 10, we want the 23. And then we also want the 5 and the 110. So basically we want all the numbers except for the people that just have birds. So we add those up. 195, 200, 233, 233, 240, 280. If I did that math right. You guys can check me if I'm wrong on that one. Yep, we're good. And the last one here, how many students have dogs, cats, and birds as pets? So now they need all three of them, and they could have more than one of them, but here this is and So they need them all. So therefore, if it was or, it'd be every single number up here. But since it's and, we're just looking right here where all three circles overlap. So we got 10 students with all three types of pets. So then we'll go into truth tables. And truth tables are basically working our way and kind of variables of statements. Like we don't know exactly what the statement is. So we're going to try to go with it and cover every possible scenario. So if we just start looking at these two columns, just the P and the Q to get us started, we want to cover every single scenario possible. So therefore, a P and Q, they both could be true. P could be true, Q could be false. P could be false, Q could be true, or they both could be false. Notice there's kind of a pattern here. P's are true, true, false, false, and then Q's are true, false, true, false. So we kind of wanted to establish that pattern, and you'll see a little bit later why we want that pattern too. But not P, well, not P is just going to be the opposite of whatever the P is. So P is true, this is false, false, and then not P is true or false for the last two, so therefore not P is going to be true, true. So whenever you do a Venn diagram or a truth table, you want to build it up so you're only looking at two columns at a time. So here we have the not P, so we're going to look at this column versus our Q column. And if you remember this symbol, that symbol means or. Okay, up the right side up V is or. Doesn't look like an A or an N, so therefore or to help you remember that. So or, we only need one of them to be true. So here, since Q is true, this is true. Here they're both false, so this is false. True, true. Well, we only need one of them, but we got two of them, but it's true. And then false, true. Well, not Q or not P is true, so therefore, or we only need one of them to be true. And this one builds up a little bit bigger. This one has P, Q, and R in it, so it gets a little more, trying to build it up. Probably the best thing is to kind of go down your P, and for how many ever columns there are, if there's 3 letters, since we're talking about P, Q, and R, we're going to get 8 different outcomes. So half of them are going to be true, half of them are going to be false. And then P is going to be true, true, false, false, kind of like how, or Q is going to be this, and how P was last slide. And then R is just going to be true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. And you'll see that there is a pattern, and you see that every possible scenario. So again, why are we doing this? Well, we don't know what the 3 statements are. This is kind of us using those 3 statements as a variable. We don't have a clue what the statements are, so we're just covering every single scenario possible. Could be 8 different combinations of what the 3 statements could be. So we must also fill out the not Q. Not Q is just going to be opposite of our Q. So false, false, true, true, false, false, true, true. Not Q and R. So here is and. Remember that one's and. So it looks like an A. So here we need both of them to be true. The first one, not Q, is false. So that's automatically going to be false. Another way, kind of like with the or, when we said at least there's one true, we know it's going to be true. Well, if you see a false, this is going to be a false. Maybe I should use a different color on this, so it doesn't look like I'm writing an E. True, false. 2 falses here, so that's false. 2 trues, that actually gives us a true. False, true, false. Again, they both have to be true in and. So false, false, true, false. So again, we had that column because we just wanted to look at 2, and now we're building this up to try to get to what it's asking us for. P or then not Q and R. Okay, so here we're going to test this column here. We'll do this in red this time, if you can see that, and then P. So those are the two columns we're looking at. So here it's OR. So notice the first 4 of P's are all true. So we really don't need to know what these 4 are, because we only need one of them to be true in OR. So here's true, 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 true. You see how it's going to be a little bit more easy for things to be true in an OR statement than an AND statement. And then the bottom 4 of the P's are all falses. So now we can go look at these 4, and that's what we're going to make our truth value of. So we get false, false, true, false. So go ahead and try the next one here, and see how you come up, and you can pause it if I can get through all these slides. Whoops, and I gave you the answers. So I'm sure you can rewind and look at that real quick, but try this one on your own. It's already done. You notice that the 2 are different colors. The template of this was actually wrong. We had to correct it at one time. So it's an easy thing to keep make a mistake on. So you do want to be diligent with it, and you never have to put this whole thing together. Like this would be an example, like what I'd be asking you to do on a test or a quiz, where the table's pretty much filled out, and then you just have to fill out one column. So, so go ahead, pause, try to figure it out. Hit rewind if you want to check yourself. Now you can go forward. So here's the answers. Again, once you build here, this is the only 2 columns you're looking at. So true, true. We get true, and it's OR, so we only need one of them to be true. So that's why the first 3 are true, and then the last ones are all false. And then there's one more for you to take a look at. Go ahead, pause, figure it out, or try it. And there's your answers. So hopefully this makes sense. And again, bring your questions to class, and we will talk about them when you get here. So thank you, and we will see you the next time in class.